So is there anything else you want us to do with the car while it's here?
Yes, please.
Can you make it new again, Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
So this car had come in for a water leak originally, and customers decided to take a negative and turn it into a positive, and we have done our magic, turned the car into something that looks absolutely stunning.
In a lap round it, and then there sometimes are clues as to why it might be leaking from the outside, but that's a lap round it. Right, just need your help now. So what was it that led you to first find there was a water leak? What was the initial thing that happened?
We came back from holiday for about a week, and I opened the door, and there was a passenger door, and there was a puddle in
A
there.
puddle. So this is here, down here somewhere, yeah?
You can probably still see it.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's water there, so let's have a look. Oh yeah.
And it's
And it smells a bit. I can't put the smell on the camera, but it does smell a little bit now, but it's been in there a while.
yeah, that was probably last September.
So were there any symptoms? Did you have anything else that led you to that, like steamed up windows or anything that you also... No, nothing, just you found that?
Yeah, there was heavy rain.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Since that point, there's been steamy windows.
So where do you suspect the water's coming from, if you had to guess?
I can see it coming. I thought it was the windscreen.
Yes.
We've had the windscreen taken out and resealed again.
And it wasn't that?
It wasn't that.
No.
The water is coming down.
You're seeing it there?
It comes in there,
Yeah.
drips down
Yeah,
here, comes
right,
down there.
it's
and
obvious.
goes there. So-
Right, okay. So is there anywhere else you found water that you think shouldn't be there?
No, just in the passenger footwell.
No, okay, right, because people do that, they go, oh, yeah, hang on, there was a bit in the back here. You go, what's that for? Right, so what's happened so far? So tell me if somebody's tried to fix it already or anyone's done anything.
I took it into a garage and they took the windscreen. They said
They resealed the screen.
Resealed the screen. Thought that was it, but I then left it out. It rained.
Yeah, and then bang, you got water.
Strangely enough, when I'm driving along and there was heavy rain, nothing is coming in.
All right, that is strangely enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought it was fixed. I then took it in and said to do the starter motor, and I mentioned that there's a Land Rover specialist. He said it sounds like the sunroof tray or
Yep.
something.
Good. Yep. No, I know what that is. I know what he's talking about. So is there anything else you want us to do with the car while it's here?
Yes, please.
Can you make
Right.
it new again, Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
We can.
Somewhere there is a double scratch.
Yeah, I could see those all the way down the side. There's plenty of scratches there.
Yeah, so
Did you
that's
scratch?
You've got a slight thing of the bumper here.
Yeah,
That's a little bit odd,
That's where
but
somebody crunched it, didn't they?
Was it me? You blame me for everything, so I can't remember anything.
right.
Mummy did.
But that, you might ignore that. I mean, that's a big job to sort that out. It may just push in, but otherwise you'd have to get the bumper off and do all that. So if we're going to get the bumper off anyway, because there's a reason to get it off, which I don't think there will be, because the problem seems to be at the front. So you've got the scratches are what annoy you. Anything else?
That one's quite a deep. So those two are.
Right. So there's a couple of options. We could touch them in would be the best option, I think. We can buff it and touch it in a bit.
Yeah.
We might be able to, but otherwise you've got to spray that door and that
No, we don't
door,
want the
so you
door,
don't
yeah.
want the
No,
expense.
no.
We're tidying up the car, not making it brand new. You know, well, that, I mean, you can have what you like, but that would be my suggestion.
Scratches on the bumper, but,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Can you do this, Gary?
What, do you want it same on the other side? Yeah, I can do that.
I want this to be nice.
I'm joking. All right. So what's caused it?
I'll
Seatbelt.
tell you what I think it is. It's the seatbelt. I think
I
it's
thought you were going to point at me.
Yeah, it's
She
her.
caused it.
It's the seat.
Not mentioning many
Do that
names.
for the
Watch when
film.
my eyes roll.
Yeah.
And some scratches here as well. It's a seatbelt.
Right.
Right.
So my advice is that if you wanted my advice, do you want my advice?
Absolutely.
Well, look, this belt is causing the problem. So having all this fixed is, unless you're going to stop that problem, you're going to get it back
Can
again.
you sort the seatbelt out?
Well, the seatbelt might be able to do something with it because it's not retracting very well. So there is a possibility we might be able to help that retract better.
Yeah, that would be good.
And then if we can, then it might be worth doing a bit more. But I would just touch that in, I think, on a car
Touch
like
that
this.
in, yeah.
And then I have got a specialist that would do that, but that's going to cost like, I don't know, somewhere between £100 and £200 to do.
Yes, please.
You'd rather do it?
It's
Yeah,
the
okay.
same on the other side as mine.
Yeah, well, it'd be cheaper doing two at once. But we need to sort. But before we do that, I know you're nodding yes. But what I would say is, if I can't sort that seatbelt out,
Still do it.
right?
Because
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because this car doesn't get driven very much anymore now, and it's driven by Joss.
And he doesn't do that.
I'm fine.
Do it.
Right. Okay.
I don't know.
That could clean off. That's just
that
yellow
magically
paint.
turned up.
That's magically come off easy. That's the
You
doddle.
driven near a yellow car, John?
That's it.
A yellow fence? I think we are.
And then-
Oh, I think it's the same the other side in the passenger. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean that could just be
I didn't even
stuck
know
back, that little one. Right. Okay, so that, and you're mainly concerned about the scratches and want it shiny. I will send you a video of what we do making cars like new again. I'm not thinking this is making sense for you guys to do that. I'm thinking maybe you want to do what you're doing, but if this is going to go back to the life that it had, then I would say probably tidy these bits up rather than try and spend money making it like new. Now we do coatings, protections and all that help it in the future, but I probably wouldn't do it on this unless you're going to keep this for another 5 years, 10 years, and then you might do that. But what I can tell you from experience, these cars aren't that reliable. So I don't know if you've had a good time with it, but in the next few years you might choose a change in it. I'll get a Toyota, but anyway, that's another story.
Clean that up.
I mean, is it worth it?
Yeah, but you can clean it up.
Yeah.
That could be cleaned, and this, just a little bit of cleaning and tidy it up. I mean, I don't think that's a reason if you were going to change it, and if you're going to put other things in here, this is going to get marked again. But I don't think that's a reason somebody wouldn't buy it. But if you are selling it, if you're not,
Let's clean it up.
that's a bit of a clean on
I
that.
thought somewhere
Yeah.
I scratched it, but
It's got a couple of scuffs, but they're not too worried. But I get that. So one of the first things on our checklist is the doing the sunroof pipes. So you can see there that the water's come through it. That's a UV water. Can you see the UV's done that? So that's the rear of the car. So the roof is there, and then the water runs down. You probably don't see it, but it runs down the A pillar, either this one. On this roof, it probably is this one, and then it comes down and then goes a little along and then there. Or it might be this one. The reason I don't know, you're wondering, it's got 3 sunroofs. So I think the 2 front ones, the 2 pipes are on the front one, and then the rear one doesn't open. So I'm seeing that the back of the roof would be here somewhere. So it's likely that it's going this way, about down here, and then you can see that. So if I go onto this one, this is where the problem is, because you've got water in the footwells, and I can't see any evidence of any water that's come out of there with the dye on. So if I look around here, I'll come around this side, I've run the product down both of those, and then I can see the evidence there. Can you see that? So that's the UV light. I don't know, well, it shows up in the camera actually, but it's there. And then the same on this one. So these 2 are working. You see there, you see that? That's a bit more obvious, isn't it? So they're working, but I think it probably makes sense to certainly do the 2 front ones, because you know, they're the same age and they get the same use, whereas the rear ones, I've had to put the car up on the ramp. So to put the water so that it goes backwards, otherwise it's always going forward. So I think it makes sense just to do the front ones at least anyway. Hi guys, just giving you a little progress report. So the pipes have arrived, and so we'll be fitting them soon. Let's just give you an idea what this looks like under here. More water than you think most of the time, but there you go, that's a little bit of a lake going on. But yeah, we'll get it all dry. We've got the suck out with the suction machine, pull out most of that, and the foam bit takes forever to dry with the drying machine, and then it's wet under here as well. So that's not too bad, that bit. So we'll get this up as well, and then we'll take out all the toys as well, all the bits. But anyway, it'll be on the dry machine. This is the electric plug, and that's been fine. Although the wires were in the water, or some of them were touching the water, it's not the ends, and the wires are waterproof, so not too worried about that. Hello, Jennifer. Right, okay, so a little update. Yes, there is water under here where all your wires are, but again, not too worried about that. Of course, this goes under here now. Because the wires themselves are wet, so we're sucking out the water still now, and I'm going to get this suction machine in here and pull out that water. Can you see that one coming out? And then we'll have the dryer in, and we'll make that absolutely bone dry. But we'll have the machine in there pushing hot dehumidified air. But we've got to get this bulk of this water out first, because quite a lot of litres in there. It's quite surprising how much builds up. You don't even know it's there. There you go. That just gives you a little bit of an idea. This foam is still soaked. We've been pulling that water out since we made the last video. But it's getting there now, and we'll keep on doing this. And then pull out that water, and it goes along here, and we'll get the nozzle in there and pull it out. Good morning, Jennifer. Just giving you a progress report. Okay, so it's been drying for the whole weekend. This was very, very soggy, and now it's not. Now it's completely dry. There's no water in there at all. And the same at the back, it's had this, and then also in that little gully. That is absolutely bone dry. So that's all good. So we're going to put it back together. The wheels are going to be collected today. So we're making progress. Yeah, we're happy with that. We haven't fitted the hoses, but they've arrived. The new parts, which is to fit them in the pipelines, and then we'll get the old ones out and show you what they look like. Show you what was wrong. Right, progress report. Wheels are obviously gone. And Alan's done a wonderful job of this. Still got a little tiny little ripple there, but really nice. We haven't finished this bit yet. We've got to trim and do that. And he's done that one, and he's done the other one. He's done the little nick on the back here. That's done. That's gone. And then this one that was on here, slight indentation, but you'd like to... That was a lot worse than that, wasn't it? You wouldn't have noticed that. And then... So that's done.
Okay, so we've got the end video on the Discovery. So the front sunroof pipes have been replaced, scuttle area's been done as well. It's all dry inside. It's had a valet inside as well. We're just having a bit of a trouble because we can't get the car to start, but it's being collected. We've got a load of bits and pieces which were left in the car in the boot area. We've done a couple of cosmetics. So we've got a cosmetic down on this door here. Obviously we can't wash it because we can't move it. Got the little bit of a yellow scratch off of here, and we've also done the door shuts as well. The door shut's been touched in, so it looks a little bit better, takes your eye off all the scratches. Add a courtesy vac all the way through as well. So there we go. And obviously the scuttle area's been off and been cleaned as well. So that's that one ready to go for the real environment test.
Discovery 4 in today for a recheck. You like to just point me out the area that it's getting wet?
It's probably going to pour out, by the way.
Okay, he's got quite a lot of...
That's not more, that was... my wife put down some basically shaken wrap because it was smelling mouldy, but as she then moved the mat,
okay.
She realised it was actually soaking wet.
Alright, no worries. Have you seen any sort of drip lines or anything like that coming down?
I haven't, but I think you can see it stained around there, and I think it's been coming through the glove box.
Right, okay. Okie dokie.
Only because I took the, what do you call it, the manual out, and it was a bit damp.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. What we'll do, I'll just close that up. We'll do our recheck on it. So we'll test all the areas that we replaced before. So that's obviously the sunroof pipes, to check that all sort of the scuttle area, the cassette at the top, and then we'll go from there as to what the next steps are. Okay, so we got this Discovery in for a recheck today. Customer originally had water coming in and pulling up by the passenger footwell, and they got it checked out, and it was blocked sunroof pipes. So the guys took out both the sunroof pipes and actually replaced them with brand new ones, and they also cleaned out the cassette at the top here, so that was all nice and clean, and it was all draining nicely. It drains out of the bottom there down into the arches. Customer has brought it back in, obviously with wet carpet again in the same place, and what we've done, we've checked the work. It's all connected up properly, it's all in place. However, what we've done, we've started to do our investigation side of things. So we've used about an hour's of investigation. We've taken obviously all the headlining, all the A-pillar out, pulled the headliner down, and what we can see at the top here, so the pipe itself just there is all connected up properly. However, the pipe, which is obviously brand new, is actually blocked up again. Now if we have a look, we've put some dye in some water, and that is all blocking back up. Now there is actually quite a lot of dirt in the cassette itself. It's, you know, you can see a little bit there where it's poking out the top, but that was like that all the way along. Hard to see at the moment with the dye in place. So obviously there's been dirt and grime that's been sat in there, and again over time has been flushed down the sunroof pipe. So this is obviously just a repeat issue from what the customer had before. So what we can do, obviously when we first book it in, we advise we do the recheck, and then we put 2 hours aside for investigation work. As I say, we've used about an hour so far to determine why it's actually coming in and landing where it is. So what's happening is, when the cassette gets filled up, it's actually leaking either side and overflowing. It's then running onto the headliner. As we can see, the headliner is all wet, and then it runs down the A-pillar and then comes out here and just behind this bit of plastic as well, and is obviously then running down straight into the carpet itself. Okay, we're just going to document a little bit more of what we believe has blocked up the sunroof pipes. So on the top of the roof at the moment, you can see all of these little needles that have all been sitting. So that's obviously sat all along that strip there. It's all filled with the needles. So it's obviously been parked under a tree or something like that. And again, they will basically sit on here, and then when the sunroof is open, they're all going to drop into the cassette and then get pushed down into the drains. And again, even when they're just raining, because as you can see they are so small, they're going to sit in that area and then get pushed. So you can see that goes straight down into it. So that is what it is blocking up. But if I come down the ladder and come around the back, we can obviously see a huge amount all tucked up in the back here.
Just an update, James is fitting the new hose, and we'll show you how we've done that when it's done. The drying machine's in there, and there's the hoses, and that's all dry under here now. Is it completely dry now? No, so we've still got more drying to do. Oh, I see what you mean. So the drying machine's been in all day yesterday, or not all day, but some of yesterday, and then all night last night. It's been switched off for him to do what he's doing. And then we put in the converted pipes, and he's also thought of a way of putting something at the top. So you can see there, look, there's the new pipe in there on that side. That's the easiest side to do. This side's harder because it's got a fuse box there right against the pipe. So he's got the easy bit to do now. He runs it up there like that, and there's no kinks in it or squashes. So this will be a much more efficient pipe. So hopefully this will be the answer to the problem.
Okay, so quick little video on the Discovery. This one's obviously had a water leak, but now we've obviously sorted all the water leak. Now we're going to obviously buff it all up. This one's actually having 6 stages and an exterior clean as well. So we've got a lot of these bits and pieces in all the gaps. We've obviously always down by the window as well. We've got obviously all scale up here and in down inside the doors, which has all got to be cleaned off. It's also got to be clayed as well. Petrol cap there. The driver's side doesn't look too bad. The back doesn't look too bad either. The passenger side is quite heavily scratched. So we've got a lot of bush marks on this side here, which is very common because obviously it's the near side. And we've left these little vents out. The reason being is because we've replaced the drains and they're just up there. So we can obviously maintain and check them whilst we're doing it. So there we go. So there's a quick video. So we're going to obviously make it look nice and new now.
Just out of interest, what are you actually doing now?
Taking all the impurities out of the paint before we buff it.
Oh, okay. So this is a car that came in because they had a water leak. And they're taking advantage of the special offer. So we're going to turn this car into like a new car, which was very different, which will be very different to what it was. We've refurbished the wheels already, and then we're buffing up the paintwork. But that's not buffing it, that's removing the impurities. It's quite clever stuff. Otherwise, if you just buff it, you end up with all those bits on the paint that cause problems. Just a little progress report. So he's on the, is this what buff is this now, the 3rd? 4th buff now, okay. So we've got more buffing to do, but you can see there that it's got plenty of buffing stuff on it. And yeah, so the results start to come each layer you do. So it's had to, this side was very, very scratched. So he's had to start with something relatively coarse. And then he's working his way down the grades, and at the moment now he's using a DA, which is a machine that doesn't go in circles. He started with a circular rotary because that's the more aggressive and that's the more powerful. This is still a very powerful machine, but it's not going in circles, so you won't get those swirls, you know, when you see people who've had cars buffed and they've got all these circles. It won't have those on it because he's finishing it now with the rest of the buffing with that DA. So the hose has been fitted and the inside is still drying. That's been ongoing, but the machine's in there drying. And then there's, you know, the wires there, but the wires are okay as far as we can see because they're the connectors aren't in the water, so it's just a bare wire. Well, weren't in the water. The water's dry. It's drying now. Some machines and the hoses there tucked under.
So this car had come in for a water leak originally, and customers decided to take a negative and turn it into a positive, and we have done our magic, turned the car into something that looks absolutely stunning. It's had a 6-stage polish on it, so it's gone around the car and got a really, really nice shine on it. Tidied up a lot of the paintwork. It was very scratched and swirled when it first came in. Now you can see just how glossy it is. We coated it with a matrix black ceramic coating, so that is an 8-year protective coating. So the customer will have a lot more lifetime out of it. It will make it look really, really nice going forwards. And wow, what can I say? What a lovely car, beautiful colour, and we can see that the pearlescent in it is sparkling away, ready for the customer to collect.
Amazing.